TV. Hello, everyone. This is another episode of Natural is F. I'm your host, Dr. Ferrante Frazier. We study natural hygiene and natural health. So, this whole show is going to give you a great knowledge about health. That's all we're going to talk about, every week. So, I'm glad that you're tuning in this week at 6 o'clock every Tuesday. So, that should be always already log into your phone, on your television, on YouTube. You should be getting clicks letting you know, hey, we used to have this DJ here in Savannah used to always, when he used to come on, he said 6 o'clock is time for Lil G to rock. Well, this every Tuesday at 6 o'clock is time for Natural F to rock, right? And we're going to be bringing you this information about holistic health and healing, where you can get rid of all your health issues the more natural approach to it. You don't have to take medicines. You don't have to take herbs. You don't have to go get treatments. You don't have to Google what this remedy going to do or any of that stuff. All that stuff is going to be useless when you're learning about natural hygiene. Matter of fact, natural hygiene is the most naturalist way to help you regain health. And it's the cheapest because if you think about it, there's nothing to buy. You don't have to send off to Africa to find some expensive herb or supplement or anything like that. You don't have to send off to China and get some type of remedy, anything of that nature. You don't have to go to your herb shop and get supplies and supplies of compounds and treatments and ointments and different tonics and different things that so-called bring about health in your body. This is stuff that you can get freely, that's provided to nature, to every man in the proportion that he wished to pull from it. It's like a never-ending stream of wealth that you have to go and get, and but only you can get it. Like no one can breathe fresh air for you. That's something that you have to do. No one can go to sleep for you. That's something that is, peculiar to you and only you. No one can maintain their emotions. It's up to you to control poise in your life and have balance in your life. So the conditions that we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about a health plan for everybody. We're going to be talking about what is a healthy lifestyle, what constitutes an unhealthy lifestyle. And then we're going to talk about clean environment versus a toxic environment. All right. And then we're going to probably finish off with a great meditation like we did last week. I hope that you had a great week up to this point. I hope the meditation helped you get into a relaxed state. I hope a lot of people who were having trouble going to sleep learn how to get in a relaxed state using that meditation that we use on our last show. If you haven't watched the show, man, go and watch our shows that are on the ATR Media YouTube page, All Things Relevant Black Media. You should be following and subscribing to them. You should also be following ATR Media on Facebook. Also, if you're in Savannah area, Port Wentworth area, we got a great man, our producer, who's running for mayor of the city. We need help getting him in action for it can be a better Port Wentworth for everybody. All right. I'm talking about it because I'm in Port Wentworth area. So and I live in this area, so I want it to be a better place. And we know we need change here. I'm one of the people here. We need change. So make sure that you vote for that change for mayor, and that's Julius Hall. So go even learn about his page. If you're in here in Port Wentworth, go there. Now, back to talking about our health, I definitely want to thank the ATR Media for allowing us to be on this platform to even talk about this health plan for the masses. All right. Just to tell you a little bit about me, what got me on this journey, and you can find that in a lot of my testimonies as we talk about this holistic health and healing. I used to have a lot of health issues that were, you would say, leading to death, really. It's not only I was having functional problems, functional problem meaning that certain organs just wasn't functioning. I started having organic damage where the organs were also denatured and metamorphosized. And they were changing their structure. In other words, they were no longer operating like a kidney because the kidneys were turning into something else to defend itself from poisons and different things. It wasn't operating like a heart. It wasn't operating like a lung. So you have a change in those organs. That's what you call organic damage. Functional damage is when there's low energy. That's when the kidneys is just not functioning. But when they change their form, they can't function and they lose their ability to even regain that function unless you go through a drastic change. And this is the drastic change that we're talking about. And it's not too much of a drastic change. It's rebalancing yourself. It's coming back to where you belong, in other words. So when we look at talking about changing your lifestyle to one for health, it's not like we're telling you to do something out of the norm. It's actually coming back to the norm. That's where you want to be at. You want to be back in the norm. Your disease is because you left the norm. You left the environment that your body needed to be in to be healthy. So we have to bring you back to this environment, and that's where natural hygiene is. And that's why we're going to talk about this healthy plan for everybody. There's a healthy plan for everybody now. It works for everybody. I know a lot of people say, well, what works for you don't work for me. Eating fruit might work good for you, but I gotta have meat. Going to sleep it might be proper for you, but I gotta get to this money and work. I can do it off for only 2 hours. Some people don't believe that they have to maintain normal temperatures. They believe that they can just waste their energy dealing with cold weather, waste their energy dealing with hot weather. Whatever the conditions, the temperatures around them, their body have to regulate and maintain a certain temperature. So some people don't believe that affect them. Some people don't believe that their air quality. Some people believe that they have to have fragrances and burn candles and air wicks and and all type of other air pollutants in their environment and believe that, oh, it don't bother me. I can still breathe. It don't affect me. I don't smell this stuff, but they don't know that they are changing the conditions and the functions of their cells by down the body replenishes what you tore down. You go to sleep, you wake up feeling okay. But this goes on for years and years and decades. It gets to a point where you don't have the vital fun, you don't have the vitality anymore to replenish that cell as rapidly as you once did. Now, this is what's coming on. This way the breakdown come in at. So the health plan is for everybody, but we have to learn how to conserve our vitality. The way for us to become healthier, we have to make sure that we are conserving our vitality. They say, this is Mr. Mike said, I'm trying to do some of the things you suggest. It's a slow process for me, but thanks for the guidance. Thank you so much, Mr. Mike, for always tuning in. And we hope that you're sharing this with a lot of people. It's good that you are applying them into your life and you're seeing a difference. That lets you know that you're on the right road and that we have the proper information for you. So as you do these things and you do some of our suggestions, they will keep being applied to your life and you can keep adding to it, and you're going to see your life just start getting even more helpful. I mean, healthy. I mean, strong. I mean, vibrant. And you're going to feel amazing. And I thank you so much. It makes me feel good to know that people are applying these techniques and these suggestions that we come up here and give every week, because it not only has it helped me in my life, because like I started off telling you, I had a lot of health issues. I had it where, I had this neuropathy in my legs where they were, tingling, and couldn't wear socks, shoes, couldn't even put a sheet over my feet in the bed. I had to let that boy out, and my kids had to massage my feet and all type of stuff. That I thought I had circulation problems and all type of stuff was going on, but I just know I could not get any rest. But when I started applying the conditions of health, the plan that I'm talking about, this healthy plan, natural hygiene, it's a plan. You hear me from the beginning of the show saying there's a health plan for everybody. Everybody. This is a body. And every body that's on earth, there's a health plan. One health plan. There's not many health plans. A lot of people say, well, it works for me, it don't work for you. No, no, no. It's one health plan. Now, how many bodies on earth that believe that they don't need oxygen? What body? You go up to a body and see if they got lungs and see if their lungs require something other than oxygen to breathe. So the conditions for that body is the same as the conditions of the man standing next to him. The conditions of him is the same conditions of the man next to him. So a health plan is a health plan for the masses, for the collective body. Now that's what you're talking about, a powerful health plan, ain't it? It's not just for the white man. It's not just for the black man. It's just not for the purple man. It's not just for the short man, not just for the tall man, or anything in between. It's for everybody. Everybody needs fresh air. Everybody needs to go to sleep. Everybody needs exercise. Everybody needs to maintain normal temperature and maintain emotional poise in their life. That's the beauty about this health plan. It's for everybody. That's beauty in that. It's a general cure for everything. Now, we don't believe in cures. I don't like to use that word because there's no such thing as a cure. Because your disease is the cure. Your suffering is to ward you off from some bad habit, or to protect you from some bad habit, or to throw off some toxins that you brought in from a bad habit or environmental condition. Restoration of your vitality. The health plan, you got to either conserve energy or you got to revitalize your energy. This health plan that I'm talking about, not only does it help you stay healthy, it'll get you healthy when you have lost your health. And when you regain the health, it'll keep you from going back into sickness, provided you follow the health plan. for everybody. Now, what's good for one is good for all. I talked about it, fresh air. Who's going to argue about that? Who's going to argue about sleep? Who's going to argue about, who's going to what body you can run up on and saying that it don't need sunlight, it don't need fresh air, it don't need ideal food, it don't need cleanliness. Everybody need a wash, right? Some people believe that they don't never need a wash. I guess some people do believe that. That's why we have smelly people, and dirty people. But the average person would say, yes, everybody need to be up under a shower head every so often, right? Or be dipped in some water, dipped in the pool of Bethesda, you know, and be baptized in some water and be ye clean when you come up, you know. So every so often we need to get this flesh physically washed. Now that's cleaning the outside of the man. But what about cleaning on the inside? We can't only just clean the outside and think that we're clean. We got to clean up the internal man, the internal body, not just the outside body, but the internal body need a cleansing, need to be drained of its poisons. Otherwise, the poisons are going to irritate and destroy cells and tissues and cause your fatigue, your issues in the body. This is where we get on the health plan. The reason why we're sick is because we got off of the health plan. As long as we stay on the health plan, we great. But once we leave the health plan, and we do this unconsciously, we do it because the world has got us living unconsciously, because the world is toxic. The world is toxic in its way of eating. It puts you in the mind of eating bad. All you go around is you see the sad diet, the standard American diet. Standard food. Everybody is cooking, so everybody eat cooked food, and we're wondering why we're suffering because we're in this collective mindset to eat cooked food, to eat food that is processed, food that is GMO'd, food that is got additives and preservatives in it. We snack and we do all these other different type of unnatural eating. But it's a way of life in America. It's a way of life in our communities. It's a way of life here in Savannah. We're known for our soul food down south cooking. We got all our restaurants dedicated to culinary arts, changing the molecular structure of food and just making it good for the palate and the eye. But it's destroying the belly. And when we get sick, we don't connect our eating with our sickness. Oh, I'm suffering with digestive cancers. I'm suffering with liver failure and kidney failure and heart problems and brain problems, but my habits are never connected to it. When I get sick, I'm looking for a bug. I'm looking for a virus. I'm looking for a germ. I'm looking for some type of microbe that must be crawled up under my pinky finger, and it got into my body and caused me to get sick, And when it got there, that one that got into my body, it multiplied inside my body. Now I couldn't correct it while I was strong, but when I was strong, that one got in and multiplied and it made me sick. And in my sickness, I guess I got strong and fought it off. That makes no sense, but that's the medical theory. And that's what the thing is. Most medical doctors, when you go to them with your sicknesses and your complaints and your stresses, your issues and your diseases and your discomforts, and you're explaining them to them, and he come out and he said, we're looking for the cause of it. Medical philosophies have yet to come up with the cause of that arthritis, or that rheumatoid. They call it just your tooth. We need to pull your tooth out. That's causing you suffering. Now, everybody got tooth. Why everybody ain't got this so-called disease that's caused by having tooth? They pull your tooth. They get rid of all type of organs and tissues out of your body, saying it's the cause. All that kidney, we take it out. It's causing you suffering. It's not the cause of my issue, because everybody got kidneys. Everybody got adenoids and tonsils and different things of that nature. That's not, my tonsils is not the cause of my swelling. We're swelling the tonsil. Why not correct the swelling where we can preserve our tonsil, where we can preserve our adenoids? That would be the more wise thing to do. So that's the health plan that we're talking about. The wise way. You don't have to sacrifice your organs and tissues, provided that you're willing to get on the health plan for everybody. Now, even though we're talking about now, the only way that we're talking about the conditions for health will only be in a ratio to change when under the individual. Like, for example, a sick person, they need exercise, but they don't need exercise in the same amount or frequency as the individual who is healthy. A person who's suffering with debilitating cancer, I'm not gonna have them in the gym. If they come to me talking about they want to regain health, I'm not gonna send them to the gym the first day while they sitting there on their deathbed, balled up and all type of stuff. I'm not gonna have them in the gym pushing up 20, 50, 80, 100, 300 pounds, their max weight and all that. No, that person needs rest. That person needs rest, and they need more rest than the person who out there actually in the gym who's healthy. So the conditions are there. Yes, we all need the same rest, air, water, sun, food, but it have to be, you'll say, fitted to the average person lifestyle and their condition. Even a person who is debilitating on their deathbed here again with cancer, I'm not going to be feeding them a big old salad full of fruits and vegetables. They don't even have energy to digest an apple right now. They need vitality. That's why they're sick. They low in functioning power. So yes, they need food, but they don't need it in the amount that the healthy person does. So we got to fit this health plan to each individual according to their ability to make use of the plan. So the plan is for everybody, but everybody can't use it in the same manner. But everybody have to use every means and condition. Everybody got to get fresh air. Everybody got to get sunlight. Everybody got to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Everybody got to maintain emotional balance and all the other things we talk about. But some need more than others. And some need to stay away from others for just a little while. Stay away from food just for a little while and build up energy. That's what we call fasting. We're not going to have somebody out there bathing in the sun all day long who, weak and suffering from some terrible, dreaded issue. No, that's not going to be their first thing to do. We're going to revitalize that body. And then you're going to see themselves so much healthier. Now, what is a healthy lifestyle? What is this plan that we call the health plan for everybody? What is a healthy lifestyle? Cleanliness. A lot of us, and I just talked about that. We got to keep our body clean, and we got to keep the internal clean. The outer man have to be clean, meaning wash your body, wash your hair, keep your nails clean, keep the body free of toxins and debris and dirt and waste on the outside of the body. Also, we need to do the same thing on the inside of the body. A lot of the inside of the body is also dealing with waste, dealing with a lot of trash and debris, old cells that have been spent. They're called endogenous toxins. Toxins that originate from internal. Then we also have the exogenous toxins, toxins that we put into our body. Exogenous toxins are toxins that come from without. So we got these toxins that we put in our body, like drugs, chemicals, food, air pollutants, and different things like that. Those are toxins that come from without that we allow into the body. We also generate toxins from, since the day you was born, man, you've been producing bacteria and waste and germs. You are a germ building manufacturing plant. You've been creating waste products since the day you was born. Ongoing waste, that's called metabolism. Every cell in your body has been using material and producing waste. For me to move that hand right there, I used up energy. And it has a waste product, just like when you crank up the car, you got exhaust and waste coming out of the tailpipe. So action and movement and all type of life itself requires nutrition to fuel it, and it also have to have toxins that are released from it to be drained from the body. If we think about a scientist in the laboratory, he can get a cell and put that cell in a medium. All right, a medium is this little fluid. It'll put the cell in this culture in this medium that it sits in. Now that cell, you got to make sure that that medium is always cleansed. That fluid that is in. It got to, for that cell to stay alive, you got to make sure that medium is clean, and you got to make sure that there's food in that medium for that cell, and you got to make sure that you keep the conditions safe around that cell. Don't let it fall, break, or let anything spill into it. So that's the same thing with our cells in our body. We have to make sure our cells get proper food, make sure that the medium that bathe our cells are constantly clean and pure. Now, the mediums that bathe our cells are lymphatic fluid and or lymph fluid and blood. We got to keep the blood and the lymph fluid clean because they would bathe every cell. They give the blood carries food to the cell. The lymphatic system bathes the cell and remove toxins from the cell and dumps it back into the blood system via the subclavian duct or the thoracic vein. So it dumps it back in it, and then it gets back into the circulatory system. Then it goes to an organ of elimination and it's drained out of the body. You urinate out toxins. You have a bowel movement of toxins. You breathe out toxins. But the toxins got back to the lungs via the blood. The toxins went to the kidneys via the blood. The toxins went to the colon via the blood. So the blood was the transport to carry nutrition to the cell and then to pick up its waste and carry it back to elimination organs in which to be drained out of the body or eliminated out of the body or detoxed out of the body. That's a wonderful system that the organism have. It's a wonderful system. This is called metabolism. It's basic biology here, but it's a magnificent system that was created in this body of ours. It's a mean organism, I tell you. It's ongoing. So we got to make sure that it stay clean. We got to make sure that blood stay clean, that lymphatic stay clean, because if those two are always clean, then the cells are always going to be clean. But if the blood and the lymph get backed up, then the cells must also get backed up because the blood can't deliver toxins to the kidneys. And if the kidneys are not operating properly because they had to get rid of so much coffee, they had to get rid of so much alcohol, we've been abusing them with other toxic substances. If the lungs can't get rid of oxygen because we've been abusing it with air pollutants, air fresheners, colognes, and perfumes, and candle burnings, and all type of other toxic substances. If we're constantly getting rid of sad foods, meats, and snacks, and all type of other stuff through our digestive tract, how can the body use those drainage systems, those point of elimination points? How can it get rid of toxins out of the body, eliminate toxins out of the body if the kidneys can't filter the blood, if the lungs can't filter the blood, if the colon can't filter the blood? Then the blood is going to be what? It's going to get backed up. And if it gets backed up, then the cells get backed up. And if the cells get backed up, they die. They get hard. We're destroyed. So if we want to maintain health, we got to make sure we keep this drainage system running in this body. And the way we keep that drainage system running is we got to protect our organs of elimination. We got to keep high vitality where they're working properly. We got to make sure that their structure hasn't been abused from toxic substance. They can't you'll say, alter themselves to deal with our tea drinking. They shouldn't have to alter themselves to deal with our eating. They shouldn't have to alter themselves to deal with our habits. They shouldn't have to alter themselves to deal with our environmental condition. We got to clean up our environment. We got to change our lifestyle habit. Get on the plan for everybody. When we start breathing fresh air and eating right, as a matter of fact, fresh air is that lifestyle change. Now, what constitutes fresh air? We know that oxygen is the only air that man need to be breathing. To breathe anything else cause problems in the body. Who want to argue that fresh air is more important than polluted air? You're going to tell me you want to fuss about that? We got to talk about this. We got to have debates on this. You're going to debate with me that fresh air is, if I'm saying fresh air is more important for the human organism to survive at its optimum level of existing. We're going to debate about that. You're going to say, well, studies show that, breathing in toxic fumes is more important. You're going to listen to that study? If the medical man came out and said, oh, a candle a day of burning and smelling in your house has the ability to create healthier lung function, would you listen to them? They tell you to drink red wine and it strengthen up your heart. Yeah. They tell you to take poison in small doses and it won't kill you. It'll actually heal you. Cut yourself, shoot yourself with a small gun, cut yourself and stab yourself with a small knife, and it'll make you, an ability to die from stabbing and shooting yourself. That's the mentality they use. Yeah, it makes no sense when we look at it from the health plan for everybody. Pure water. Why should we fuss about pure water? Now, a lot of us, we're on this kick of, the medical people, the scientists, the newspaper, the magazines, the television, everybody on this alkaline water, pH balanced water. Some got water pH balance at 9.0, 10.0, 11.0. Man, you can't drink that stuff. That stuff toxic water. It's mineralized water. It's hard water. Now, a lot of us won't even, the way they say the stuff to you, it sounds so scientific that it gets you captivated what they're saying. Oh, it's studies about pH balanced water. Well, there's also studies of mineral water, hard water, and the calcification that it leaves on your shower walls and your pipes and stuff like that. All that mineral that is in the water. That's all pH is. When you up the pH, you got a bunch of alkaline minerals in the water, and it's just carrying up the pH balance of the water. That means that it's toxic. You want clean water. You don't want, the more the pH balance of the water go up, the more toxic it becomes. The more it go down up under 7.0, the more toxic it becomes. Neutral water is clean water. It's nothing in it. It's pure water. That's distilled water. And that's the water that you want to be putting in your body. You want to put clean, pure water in your body. You don't want to put toxins in your body because the more anything added to the water, now the kidneys have to filter out that trash that comes in with the water. That's a waste of vitality. So we don't have to fuss about that. But if we got to get away off this health kick about spring water. Spring water is mineral water. It's same stuff. It's just the source that it come from. If it comes from a mineral well, you might have more sodium in it. If it comes from a spring well, you might have some other alkaline minerals or acid minerals that are more built up into that water. If it comes from some aqua place, some geyser or something like that, whatever the rock solution is around that area is going to be dissolved in that water. Whatever rock it rolls off of, it's going to be eroding that rock in that water, dissolving it in that water. So all you're doing is drinking rocky water. Rocks diluted in water, that the water then dissolved as it run across it. So it's just dirty water, mineral, rocky water that you're drinking, and the body have to filter out that stuff. It's not beneficial. The body needs clean, pure water to hydrate itself and for all its chemical needs. So the better the more pure your water is, the less vitality needed in preparing your body or your nutriment, your water to the body. It don't have to deal with it. It can come right on in and be used right then. It don't have to go under filtration before it can be used. It can be used straight on up. That's how you want to stop wasting your energy. Remember, our health plan is to conserve vitality. And when you don't have vitality, you restore vitality. So that's how we conserve it, by not using it, and we restore it by not using it haphazardly. We don't have to use it on water. We don't have to use it on air pollution. We don't have to use it on uncleanliness. That's conserving it. And that's also restoring it when it's being conserved. Now, also adequate sunlight. Adequate sunlight is a big thing for health. It strengthens up bones. It helps with your sleep cycle. It helps with eye restoration. I've seen plenty of people who restore their eyesight. They're getting rid of the hardening on their eyes and stuff by eating properly and in sun gazing. Now, the sun gazing need to be taught to you. You can't just go out there looking at the sun any time of the day. You can do damage to it. That's why I say the conditions of health is for everybody, but it has to be done in the right manner. You got to eat in the right manner. You got to drink in the right manner. You got to get sunlight in the right manner. It takes the right way to do this stuff. And that's what we teach you, the proper way to do it. That's what the show is about, Natural is Health. We're teaching you the proper ways to use the means of health. Use the tools that are going to make you healthy in this health plan. It's how to formulate your food properly, how to get rest properly, how to get sunlight properly, how to drink your water properly. But it comes from awareness. The ideal food. Ideal food, like I said, the food is for everybody. Fruits are for everybody. Vegetables are for everybody. Eating fruits raw, uncooked, unprocessed, unseasoned, wholesome is for everybody. Now, some people might say that they can't have a watermelon without salt on it. And I see they got some other thing going on now where they put, I think, chocolate or caramel or some type of stuff with the watermelon. That's a denaturing of the fruit. That's a perversion. It's creating disease. You can use fresh fruits and cause disease in the individual if they eat too much of it or eat it in a state that they should not be eating, like they eating too often. You can eat bananas too often and eat too much when you're eating and eat when you're in a stressful situation, and it'll produce disease in you. But that's bananas, you say. How can one get sick off bananas? How can one get sick off of strawberries? How can one get sick off of eating spinach and lettuce and cucumbers and bell peppers? Well, eat too much. Eat too often. And eat under condition where you're stressed out, you're working too much, you're playing too much, and you're tired and fatigued. A fatigued digestive tract will favor indigestion and create toxins. Food will rot and decay and produce microorganisms and create toxins that irritate the digestive tract and eventually cause hardening and damage to the body. Bananas, oranges, pears, peaches, plums, whatever. Now, they won't do it as quick as these other toxic foods, but still, our whole objective is to be natural as health, to get to the optimum. We teach optimum health here. And you can deviate it as much as you want to. But the optimum is the true plan towards health. And it's for everybody. Regular exercise. Exercise is necessary if we want to build muscle, strength. Some people don't have to exercise because their lifestyle is the exercise. If they're working out in the fields, if they're working on, strenuous jobs that got them lifting and squatting and all type of stuff like that, well, that is their workout. But some of us, our workout is just sitting here talking to you on ATR media platform. I'm not exercising nothing but my lips right now and my brain. I'm moving my hand every so often, but that's not enough to create a good cardiovascular workout. Or there's no stretching going on here. I'm just stretching my conscious right now and stretching my lips, but no stretching going on in the muscles and the long limbs and different things of that nature. Matter of fact, there's pooling right now because I'm not moving. So I'm lacking exercise in my job. So when I'm off the job, I need to be indulging in some type of exercise to make up for my lifestyle. So we have to fit the health plan into the individual's life. See, it's the same plan. It just have to be fit to the individual to help bring health back to them. That's where we come in and sit down with the individual. We examine their lifestyle and we examine their environmental conditions, and then we fit a plan, the health plan to their life. We don't start them off eating a diet. We don't start them off into the sun. We don't start them off exercising. We fit it to their life. As the need arises, as the conditions improve, we start bringing in more means and conditions of health that will further up the heading to optimum health. Rest and sleep. A lot of us don't realize how beneficial sleep is. That's the only way we get energy. We talk about the first thing into creating health or creating disease. Well, creating health, you got to have high energy. There's no function or action going on in the body without functioning power. The power to act, that vitality, that nerve energy. It needs to be there if we wish to have health. Because the organs can't function without energy. The lymph, the cells can't function without energy. They can't recuperate. They can't rebuild themselves if there's no functioning power, no nerve energy going to them to give them power to react. Then we get that through rest, sleep, meditation, prayer. All right. Normal temperatures. Temperatures, when we don't have normal temperatures, if we don't maintain normal temperatures, our body get too hot, it wastes energy and cooling itself down. You start sweating. Your body have to remove blood from the skin to allow it to cool down. Other organs that might be overheating have to push blood away. If you get too cold, your body have to send blood to those areas, directing them away from other areas. So it's ideal that you allow the body to be natural. Don't use any unnatural means and conditions of protecting itself. So you don't put it in a bad situation that it have to alter its normal functionings. All right, that's a waste of energy. We got to conserve energy here. We got to restore energy here. The best way to do so: cleanliness, fresh air, pure water, adequate sunlight, ideal food, regular exercise, normal temperatures, rest and sleep, and then emotional balance. Emotional balance, coupled with nurturing relationship. It wastes energy when you're around a bunch of toxic people. Nurturing relationships, not toxic relationships. Toxic relationships drain the body of energy. You have thoughts that are draining. You can't eat when you're in a stressful situation. Anytime you're in a toxic environment, it got you in a fight or flight response. You got adrenaline going because you're in a stressful situation. The body can't eat. Digestion is suspended due to the fight or flight response. You don't see nobody want to eat while they're being chased by a bear. You don't see people who being frightened to death want to eat. But we're eating under those conditions. And we're wondering why we're sick. Why your stomach hurt. You just left a funeral where when your loved ones died and you're sitting there eating a smorgasbord of food. And you're wondering why your stomach hurting, why your head hurting, why you're suffering diseases afterward. We're in a stressful situation. Any stress that you is, it's better that you skip the meal. So we got to have balance in our life. We got to have poise. We got to make sure that we maintain, our imagination, control our thoughts, get rid of jealousy and hate and all type of stuff like that. All that have a negative effect on your health. I know sometimes we want to cuss out the person cutting us over in the road. I know we want to cuss out that person who gave us a bad grade. I know we want to cuss out a politician who don't want to act right. We want to slam them on down to the ground. We cussing them out, all kind of other stuff in our thought patterns. That's a waste of energy and it's negative towards our health. We have to maintain emotional poise and hold them to the light. Hold them to the light and know that God is going to correct everything. The Almighty presence, everywhere present, is going to correct every situation in due time. You just believe that and you'll see it happen in your life. But when you maintain normal emotion, it protects you and keep you at your highest state of health. It doesn't have a negative effect on you when you put out love, when you put out peace, when you help situations calm down, when you become a nurturer, a healer to every situation in thought, mind, body, and soul. You're healing yourself. No, because you're healing the world. To heal the world is to heal yourself. Whatever you put out there brings back to you. It's like a boomerang effect called the law of karma. You know, whatever you put out there, it's multiplied and it come back and bounce back to you. It's like the old saying say, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounce off me and sticks back to you. So whatever you do, it bounce back. If you send love, it bounce back to you. If you send hate, it bounce back to you. If you send jealousy, it bounce back to you. You send acceptance and neutrality and happiness and compassion and love for the other individual. That's what's coming back to you. Multiplied, people. So those are the health is a healthy lifestyle when you living in cleanliness. Imagine a world without cleanliness, clutter, debris, and trash. That's not a good life. So the healthy lifestyle is one of cleanliness. Imagine a world without fresh air. That would be torture. So a healthy lifestyle must mean we need fresh air. Imagine a world without pure water. Everything we had was just toxic. Matter of fact, if you look at this movie called Idiocracy, it's talking about exactly what I'm talking about right now. It's a bunch of idiots. The world had became idiotic. That's why it's called Idiocracy. You should watch it when you get time. But the world became a bunch of idiots. They were using water only for the flushing of the toilet. They say they're not going to drink anything in the toilet. But I don't want to spoil the movie for you. Look at the movie and you'll see a lot of what I'm talking about up here is right there in the movie. Idiocracy. It's a funny movie. You got what the guy name is that always with he was in Friday, the cruise dude. I can't remember his name, but always the big swole guy always doing the dancing. He's like the president of the United States. Imagine that. He's the president. So you can tell they were dumb, you know. So check that out, Idiocracy. But a clean versus a toxic environment, not just talking about, being swept up. A clean environment means you got to have clean water. Imagine that world without that clean water, without the sun shining, without food here, without fruits and vegetables. A world without that, that's a dead world. That's a barren world where no life can live. Where you can't get regular exercise. There's no normal temperatures. The temperatures are all erratic. You know, you can't get no rest. They got this movie out now called Awake. The people, if you look at the people on Awake, they're going crazy. Their brain expanding. They're shooting one another. They're delirious because they're not getting sleep. And a lot of us are not getting sleep. We're wondering why so much crime going on, so much trouble going on in the world right now. People don't know how to think because they're not getting rest. They can't go to sleep. They're either doped up and can't get no sleep because they're too high to go to sleep, or they just can't get sleep because their body is in pain. They done used up all their melatonin, their pineal gland is calcified. And they just can't get no sleep. They're waking up, they go to sleep at 12 o'clock at night, wake back up at 2. And in between 12 and 2, they don't woke up to go use the bathroom 2 or 3 times. Then they up the rest of the day. They don't take no naps. So here it is. They don't have no energy. They're not getting any sleep. Their brain is fatigued. They're stressed. They don't know how to think. They don't even know how to control themselves because they don't have the rest that they need. Imagine a world without that. Water must be pure, protected from drowning. You can't drown in water and think that you're healthy. So there's a balance even to the wholesome things. You know, they said be moderate in all things. No, be moderate in wholesome things. Be moderate in your fresh air. Be moderate in your pure water. Be moderate in your your sunlight. Well, always getting fresh air. Let me get back to that. I said that kind of off there. You always want to be connected to fresh air, but and you always want to have pure water in balance. In other words, you don't want to sit there and drink all day long. You'll waterlog your cells. So drink when thirst present itself. Ideal food, all that stuff need to be done in balance. All right. So you must have sun. That sun help with sleeping, for vitamins and minerals. Taking in the sunlight on the skin is like eating because we get nutrition when we allow the sun to beat on our skin. We must have air, oxygen rich, void of toxic gases and debris. We must have food. We have to use, it got to be usable material. We can't just eat anything and call it food. It have to be usable. We got to have proper drainage. Our cells die in their own waste, in their own filth. So for us to make sure that we're going to keep our body, blood, lymph clean, we got to make sure that we have proper drainage. The way to have proper drainage is to make sure our elimination organs are working properly. And what keeps them working properly? Energy. When you keep the light on, when you keep the electric bill paid in your body, vitality is like your power source, your Georgia power, your Alabama power, wherever you live at, that power, the power bill that you get to keep your cells and tissues functioning properly, the light on in your body. You got to make sure your bill is paid. And the way you keep that bill dollars every time you go to bed. The more you go to bed, the more energy you get. The more rest you get, the more fast you get, the more energy you get. See, I suppose Awake is, as a title was more marketable to sell the movie as opposed to Sleep Deficiency. True indeed, Mr. Cohen. You are so right. And it said, I heard that vitamin D comes from the sun. Vitamin D is actually created when the sun rays hit on your subcutaneous tissue, the oils that is secreted out of your subcutaneous tissues, out of the skin. It formulates vitamin D. The vitamin D is not actually in the rays of the sun, but through the rays of the sun mingling with the skin and the oils of the skin, it creates vitamin D. So you're on the right track there. So that's where we get our vitamin D. We can't get it out of our, no pill forms or anything like that. But we need protection from, well, we got to make sure that we void of decaying matter. We got to make sure our body get rid of decaying substances, and that's through keeping high energy in our body, where we can, clean out, where our organs can work properly, and don't abuse them. Don't abuse the organ. Don't abuse it with alcohol and other toxin teas and coffees and stuff like that, where the kidney can do the job that it's supposed to do, getting rid of the uric crystals and salt crystals and other crystals that get trapped in the body, and even debris that the tissues of the body need to get rid of. Also, the colon. Don't waste and tear up the body getting rid of chicken, pork chops, and oxtails and stuff like that, when the body need that energy and that force to clean out, toxins that are generated from within the body. So we need a protection from violence too. We need that spiritual protection, to have our free will and purpose. A lot of us don't have the free will anymore because we got so much of rules and regulations in the world that these men and women enforce on us and don't allow us to be the natural individuals that God intended us to be. So that's why we're creating a lot of crime, disruption, and discord and disharmony in the world, because you have people who have hijacked the spirits of mankind for their own well-being, to be praised and sit up on a pedestal and and judge everybody. So the only way that we can get back to being healthy individuals is when we have freedom, true freedom to live out our purpose that God intended us to do. And we need mental protection from violence as well. You know, repetition, get away from these toxic songs, these movies, and different things that repetitively put negative images and thoughts in our mind that creates this issues that we have and going on in our world today. We also need to be protected from physical violence as well. You know, hatred and fighting one another, and making sure that we even be in our right mind where we don't hurt ourselves and prone to you'll say injuries from mistakes because of our inability to think proper. You know, like the movie Awake. But so just take a deep breath, everybody, in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're not going to do a long meditation because we're just minutes on into finishing our show. Got like 1 minute. So just take a deep breath with me, in through the nose and out through the mouth. It's like you smelling roses and you're blowing out candles. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, I want you, if you're, excuse me, if you have been talking nonstop, I might need to drink me some water in a second. I have to start putting me some water over here to the side. But if you have time and you're not driving a car, listening to me or anything like that, I want you to continuously just for a minute, just ponder everything that you heard me say in this show tonight. And just deep breathe into the air, into your nose and out through your mind. Just recap to yourself everything I just said. There's a plan for health for man. And it's for every man. It's for every body. You know, everybody must get fresh air, sunlight, and all the 10 ways of health that you keep hearing me talk about. And they have to be fitted to the individual until that individual can take it haphazardly with no problem. He can go stand out there in the sun in the middle of the day and it don't affect him. He can go look at the sun without it affecting him in the middle of the day, but he got to work his way up to it. You know, so even food, you know, every man can't just eat a whole big salad and a bunch of fruits. He got to work his way up to it. He got to build up digestive strength again and repair the digestive tract before he can do so. So ponder all the stuff that we're talking about. And we're telling you to have a great week. And we'll see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. This has been your holistic coach, Dr. Ferrante Frazier from Savannah Natural Health. Natural is Elf is our show there on the platform called ATR Media. We loving it here and we love you for tuning in. Make sure you share with your family and friends and support. All right, so have a great week and we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 6 p.m. and don't be late.